see. I think it works a little bit better if I lean back. Right. Welcome, everyone. Oh, you got my message, Chris? Awesome. No worries, no worries. All right. So, welcome, everyone. My name is Tina. I'm a happiness coach, and today we're going to be talking about how big happiness actually comes from little things. And so today I want to share with you some of the things that have been going on for me. I know I wasn't on yesterday, and that was because I was doing something that was really important to me, and I was, helping a friend. And so for me, that was definitely something that was really important, and being able to be there and listen, especially since this friend has helped me out so much in a time of need. So it was just a small way that I could give back. So that made me feel good, and I think it also made her feel good. So one of the small things is just taking the time to get outside of yourself to be able to be there for somebody else without expecting anything in return, to just show up and be present and listen and not try to fix and not try to solve, and just, be able to be a safe space for that person. And so that is one of the things that is, it's a little thing, but it will actually make you feel really good. And it also will make the other person feel really good. So just being there. And sometimes it's not so much that we need to be fixed. And it is much more that we just need to be heard. We need somebody to accept us exactly where we are, in all of our flaws, all of our messes. And I know that person did that for me, and it was a real honor to be able to do that for somebody else. So that is one way. Another way, so today there were lots of little things and that I want to share with you. And so it's noticing the little things of just, having my coffee with my breakfast and being grateful for those things. And then also too of there's this saying, and it's usually used in business environments, of like, catch your employees doing something right. So it's so easy to focus on what is wrong and what we can be critical of. And I think we do this so often to ourselves, of we're focusing on all the areas that we lack, all of the things that are not good enough, and we compare ourselves to other people, and even comparing ourselves to where we were before. Maybe there's something that's not the way we want it to be, and we get upset with ourselves that we still haven't been able to get ourselves to that place. And it can be easy to go down a path of negativity and self-criticism, and letting the voices from the past, because it's usually somebody else's voice that starts that criticism of, you're not good enough, you're lazy, you're always so emotional, whatever it is that you might be going through. And we have these negative feelings, and then we take that on, and then we beat ourselves up. We often take over where our abusers leave off, and we just repeat those statements, and we create this self-doubt within us. And so today I was actually really happy, because I've been taking a lot of time to myself, and I have been spending that time with myself and really getting to understand what it is that I value, what is important to me, and being able to honor that, rather than telling myself I should be like somebody else, I should be doing something different, I should be, whatever it is. It's like always trying to, gain that approval of somehow, and to be able to sit with yourself in approval of yourself for exactly where you are today, and knowing that you are on the right track, that you are moving. Maybe you're not moving as fast as other people, maybe you don't have the results other people do, but to be able to love yourself where you're at today, and to know that you are still moving forward. It might be at a snail's pace, it might be at a turtle's pace, hey, it might be at the rabbit's pace. We know what happened to the rabbit, right? So either way, you want to be able to sit and understand who you are and what it is that is important to you. And so, sorry, I've got some cat hair that all of a sudden is floating around the air. Um, so one of the things that was happening today is I know, so yesterday I also didn't go to the gym, and I had been going every day. Now, in the past, I would have beat myself up. It's like, oh, I missed a day. I didn't do this, and you didn't follow through on the things that you said that you were promising. And it's like, you can just go down this whole tirade and beat yourself up, but that doesn't actually help unless that's the thing that gets you motivated. But if that's going to discourage you more, then no. And what I realized is one of the things is I am much more flexible of, hey, you know what? Your progress doesn't have to be like so rigid, so every day, right? Sometimes you're just allowed to be a human, and that is messy and confused and not always perfect. But and the reason why you can allow yourself that is because you learn so much from that. You learn a ton of things of, even if you're feeling down about something, you get insight. And if you're constantly trying to avoid the sadness or the negativity or the more painful feelings, then you can't ever really get to the full experience of joy and bliss and happiness. So allowing yourself to sit in those more negative emotions is actually really beneficial. Now, you don't want to stay in those. You want to be able to know a process, and if you need help with learning what that process is to help you move through those emotions so that you can come to appreciate that experience for what it did and what you learned from it, and to gain some insight and knowledge from that and be able to release it so that it's not weighing you down, then reach out to me and we can talk about how we can help you move through the challenging emotions so that you can get back to feeling happier, to get back to feeling like you can be your best self regardless of what's going on in your life. And so one of the things that like I was saying, I didn't do the live yesterday and I didn't go to the gym. So instead of beating myself up, I realized that I have to walk the walk that I talk, right? So I would never beat somebody else up if they told me, oh, you know what, Tina, I didn't go to the gym today and I didn't do the thing, and I just would not kick them while they were down. And I would say, okay, so let's do it tomorrow then. And we'll get that done and get back on track. And it's not a big deal. And so when you can give yourself the same grace that you often give others without even considering it, then you yourself will be a whole lot happier. And when you're happier, then you're able to afford more grace to other people because you're not beating yourself up, you're not hating on yourself, you're not being super critical of yourself. You realize, hey, I'm allowed to make choices. I am not a robot, and nor do I want to be one. I am a human, and I'm allowed to make mistakes because that is how we learn. And so to constantly trying to avoid mistakes and constantly trying to be perfect, we avoid the lesson that comes with the mistakes that happen. And we get to learn, it's like, oh, I definitely don't want to do that again. Or, you know what? I did that. It was hard, but it was worth it because I got these things out of it. And maybe you're not at that point where you've gotten the reward from it, but that's okay. If you keep moving forward, then you will eventually get the reward, or you will get the lesson of like, oh, okay, now I truly understand why this path is not the right path for me. And so and you can only do that if you have true self-awareness and you're able to sit with yourself and understand those emotions and process through them in an effective way so that you can get back to being able to move through these things in a faster way, right? And sometimes our idea of what the fast is and the reality of the fast isn't always the same. And so that in and of itself is a good lesson, right? Patience is not one of my strong suits, and but I have extreme patience for other people, but very little patience for myself. And I don't know if that's a way of balancing things or what, but starting to learn to give the patience that I normally afford to other people, to allow it to myself, and to say, okay, I am choosing not to do a live because I was sitting here and I was like feeling guilty. Like last night I was sitting, I was like, oh, I should do. And anytime you catch yourself saying the should word, I should do this, now you're operating from a place of fear rather than a place of love, right? And it becomes what you'll end up doing. You do that enough times over and over and over again, and you will end up building up resentment, and you will end up disliking the things that you're doing rather than, you know what, I needed to skip yesterday, and today I'm on here and I'm able to bring my full self, even if it's late, because I'm still allowing myself to be imperfect, right? Because this is the content that I am doing for free. So I get full control over when I get to do that. Now, if it's a paid situation and you're in part of my paid community, then that's different. Then I will show up when I say that I'm going to show up. And if some sort of emergency comes up, I will let you guys know that there's a challenge and that I need to push the time out. And that's just common sense, and that's just common respect. And so, and it still allows me to be a human. And if that's something that happens on a repeated basis, then I need to take a look and see if something needs to be evaluated. So another thing that I did, and today, that I was at the gym, and so I had started tracking some of the exercises because um, it can be easy, especially since when I first started going, I was like, oh, I can't really do this. Oh, I'm not that strong. And it's like, oh, this is really hard. I took all of that stuff out of the equation and went with a perspective of, well, let's just try and see what can I do. And it's like, oh, I could do this much today, and on this machine I did this many reps in this much weight and this many sets, right? And so I had tracked that, and I was like, okay, so now I have some sort of measurement, some sort of gauge. And there were some machines I did better on, some machines I need more work. And it's like, oh, I'm not that strong in that area. And instead of beating myself up, I was like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. And then today, so like I said, I skipped yesterday. So today, when I went, I was like, oh, okay, the other day I was struggling with this one machine and I had to break it down into smaller sets instead of just because a lot of times I'll do like a set of 25 reps and then see what I can do. And so now this is why it's important to kind of measure this, because the day before I was struggling with it. Today it was like not so hard. And then there was another time where I was like, oh, this is really easy. I should be able to do it. And the day before I was really questioning, well, why can't I do what I was doing the day before? Like, can I just always progress? And no, sometimes you need to take a couple of steps back. So when I did some of the exercises the day before, I had to lower the weights. I had to change how many rests I needed in between the sets. I still got the full number in, but it took me longer. And and that was just being able to pay attention to what my body needed at the time instead of being angry with myself or upset with myself that I wasn't able to do it or I didn't push through. I modified to where am I at today and what can I do today to still get the things done, and knowing that I may need a little extra time to do that. And that's okay. That was something that I have the time right now. Now, it would be a different story if I didn't, but I would have to adapt to whatever I could. So it was like paying attention to those kind of things of where I did better, where I needed to adjust up or down, and giving myself that permission to really honor what it is I needed for that day. And then because I was able to do that, I also was able to add an additional challenge is at the end. Um, so I had done my sets, my prerequisite sets, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try, I'm going to bump the weight up to a little bit heavier. Now, keep in mind, I had already done my sets, and um, then I went and challenged myself going, I wonder if I could do it the next weight up and just a smaller set. I'm not going to do a full set. I'm just going to see if I can do it. And I was really pleased that I was able to still do that. And it was like, yeah, it was like, so it just felt good to be able to continue to grow and to pay attention to my progress. And so that was something that really made me feel happy today. And and then also too, as I was working out, I actually did you know I'm a professional bodybuilding champion? No, I did not know that, Alfred. Alfred, it's so good to see you. I can't wait. You'll have to send me a fax. So that's an inside joke with Alfred and I. We're always talking about faxes. So another thing too is I was really um, pleased with during my workout today. I also, in between my sets, that's when I actually did meditation, right? Is while I was sitting and resting. And oh, yes, definitely with your picture on it. I absolutely need the picture for sure. For sure. Um, so when I was in between my sets, I was actually able to do some brief meditations. And so I was really pleased with being able to do that. And sometimes I'll let my mind wander, and sometimes a person um, will come to mind, and I'll think of something that was funny, or it's like something that I want to share with them, and it's like I can't wait to be able to share some of the wins and stuff like that. And just being able to no, I don't use oil of olay. Just being able to share some of those things with them, even if it was in my own mind, just brought me a sense of happiness. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. It's because I'm feeling pretty radiant. I'm feeling pretty happy today. So I wanted to come on and share some of those tips. So, you know, sometimes it can be a conversation that you've had, or, you know, imagine having a conversation with a friend, and I can't wait to see that. Must be a Hawaiian shirt. That would look good. Make sure that's in the picture on the fax, okay? So being able to put IT on it. Awesome. So being able to really imagine what kind of conversations and the fun that you would have, and just the little inside jokes that you have with certain people, and just bringing that to the forefront of your mind, and just being able to sit with that, even though it's not a real situation, right? We can easily, because so often we go down the opposite path where we imagine all these, all right, take care, Alfred, have a good night. So many times we imagine all of these negative scenarios, and those can affect us just as much as positively imagining scenarios. So both of them are not real. Both of them have not happened. Please hug a friend tomorrow morning. Yes, I would love to. I've got a few people on my list that I would love to give hugs to. So, but yes, it's like, and imagining doing that. Imagine giving that friend a hug. Imagine talking and joking and, you know, giving each other digs. Definitely, you're on that list, Alfred. Alfred, for sure. So, you know, being able to share those ideas, and to tap into that happiness that you have, it's available to us if we choose. If we choose that path. Now, sometimes you have to go down that darker path. Sometimes you have to go down that negativity to be able to find your way out. So it's not always, sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's darkness, and sometimes it's tears, and that's okay. And that is necessary for us to feel the full expression of this life that we live. And being able to accept that, accept where we're at, will bring so much more joy, so much more happiness into your life by focusing on the little things that are going right, the little things that you catch yourself doing right. So, how much credit are you giving yourself today for the things that you're doing right? Instead of focusing on the list of things that you may be doing wrong. And it's not to say ignore those things that you're doing wrong. Yes, you want to work on those things, but give yourself credit for being aware of the things that you're doing wrong. Give yourself credit for things that you are putting action plans into place of what you want to correct, what you want to do better, and focus on really trying to be as happy as you possibly can in this moment, if it's appropriate, because sometimes it's not appropriate to be happy, and it's okay to feel those feelings. If you are feeling sad, if you've lost a loved one, if you have suffered some sort of loss in your life, that's okay. It's okay to not feel happy in those times. And in fact, the more you fully embrace those painful feelings, the sooner you're going to be able to get to the acceptance stage of the loss. And you will be able to move through that, and you will find little rays of sunshine coming back into your life, just like spring has come back, at least here in North America. So, and it was a warmer day today, so I was definitely grateful for that. So guys, this is the training for today. If you want to be part of my community that I'm creating on school, we've got 3 more days of enrollment for that. And if you don't make it in for that, then we're going to have to hold off for a bit, and then we'll see how we'll move forward. But guys, if you are enjoying this, please like, comment, share. I will be posting some of these videos on YouTube. Invite some friends to come watch the lives in the paid community. It'll be a topic like this, but then you will get a chance to share what you've gotten out of the topic, what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, and ask me any direct questions of challenges that you're experiencing, any trainings that you may need done to help you with living a happier, more fulfilled life. So guys, if you're interested in that, send me a direct message, and I will definitely give you the details on how you can join the Daily Dose of Happiness community. Okay? So with that, I hope you have an amazing night, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!